On problems like this, we need to multiply both sides by the least common denominator. In this case, it's just going to be these two things multiplied together, x times 2x plus 63. So I'm going to put this on both sides of the equation and multiply it by both things. So I'm going to do x times 2x plus 63 over 1. I'm going to multiply all that by 1 over x. And then I'm going to put another one of these on the other side of the equation. And multiply all this by x over 2x plus 63. So now that I have that, I've put it on both sides, we can now cancel. Again, the whole reason for multiplying by the LCD is to cancel the fractions. So the x's cancel out here, and we just get 2x plus 63. And then the 2x plus 63 cancels out on the right-hand side. Now we have x and x is going to be x squared on the right-hand side. Whenever you get a x squared, that means you need to set it equal to 0 and solve. Now I could just move the x squared over to the left-hand side, but I've seen a lot of students make mistakes with negative x squared. And so instead, I'm going to leave it on the right-hand side, and I'm going to move the 2x and the 63 over to the right-hand side. So I'll get a 0 once all this goes away there. I have x squared, and I'm subtracting 2x, and I'm also subtracting 63. Both of these changes sign when you bring them across the equal sign. Now we have something that we can factor. You're looking for two numbers that multiply to make negative 63, but add to be negative 2. So that's going to be 7 and 9. We need to put the negative next to the larger number because the result needs to be negative when I add those together. So negative 9 plus 7 gives you negative 2. Now we're going to set both of these equal to 0. We get x plus 7 equals 0. X minus 9 equals 0. And so we get x is equal to negative 7 and x is equal to 9 when we add 7 or subtract 7 from both sides and we add 9 to both sides here. Negative 7 and 9, neither one of those cause division by 0. If we put negative 7 in here, negative 14 plus 63 that doesn't give us a 0, and then 2 times 9 plus 63 doesn't give us a 0 either. So those would both be our answers, negative 7 and 9. Let's do another one, similar problem. So this is going to be one where, again, we're going to multiply by the least common denominator. It's going to be x times 7x plus 30. So I want to put x times 7x plus 30. I'll put that over 1, and we'll put that on the, multiply this by everything we have on the left-hand side. And we're going to put this again, 7x plus 30 all over 1. We'll multiply this by the right-hand side, which is just 1 over x. Now we want to cancel. 7x plus 30 is going to cancel with 7x plus 30 there. These two x's are going to cancel. So now we get 2x squared equals, on the other side, we're just going to have 7x plus 30 since everything else canceled out. We want to bring these two terms on the right-hand side. We're going to bring them over to the left-hand side because we want to set it equal to 0 since we have another x squared. We subtract this, we get negative 7x, and we also get negative 30 when we move that across the equal sign. This is something now that we're going to factor. Now we could factor it a couple different ways. We could do the grouping method, but I'm actually going to do the trial and error method here because we don't have a lot of factors of 2 to deal with. We have 2x, and x is the only way to make 2x squared. Now 30, we do have a couple different things we have to try. So it'll be a little bit of trial and error here on that one. I have to see which one works. Let's just try the obvious one, 6 and 5. So we'll try that first. 2x squared, we have a 12, and we have 7. Just so happens that that first common factor pair that we normally think of when we think of 30, that one does work here. We're going to do we need to make this a negative and a positive because we want to get negative 12 and a positive 5 will give us negative 7. Now we're going to set both of these equal to 0. subtract 5 from both sides, and divide by 2. So our first answer is negative 5/2. If we add 6 to both sides here, we get x is equal to 6. Neither one of these will cause division by 0. 7 times negative 5/2, that's negative 35/2 plus 30. That's not going to give us a 0, so that's fine. And then 6 will not give us a 0 down below either, so that would be our answer. We will finish this video off with one more example, the same kind. Common denominator is going to be x times 9x plus 28. So I'm going to multiply this on both sides of the equation. So I'll put that in front of each of these. So x times 9x plus 28. Add that over 1 times 1 over x. We now want to cancel. 9x plus 28 will cancel out there, and the x's will cancel out. X times 4x is 4x squared. On the other side, we just have 9x plus 28. There's nothing else there. We want to bring everything over to the left-hand side and set it equal to 0. So 4x squared minus 9x minus 28. Both of these turn negative when we bring them across the equal sign. And now we have another problem that we want to factor. We will do this again with the trial and error method. 2x and 2x gives you 4x squared. You want to find a combination on the end where we need to get negative 9 in the middle. So we're looking for the factors of 28. So we have 4 and 7. So we can start off with that, 4 and 7. We have 4x squared. We have 14 and we have 8. That's not going to give us a combination of negative 9. And so then we might want to switch that and put a 7 there and a 4, but it is not really going to matter because they're both all going to be 2x and 2x anyway. So we know that that combination doesn't work. We could also try 1 and 28, but that's going to give us a real big number, 2 times 28, so that's not going to work either. So what we'll do is we're going to change this to x and 4x, and then try that again. So let's try we'll try a 4 and a 7 and see if that works. 4x squared, we have a 7, and we have a 16. We need to get a 9. That's the combination that will allow us to work now. So we're going to do the 16 would need to be the negative. So we'll do a minus and a plus here. 4x squared, we have plus 7x minus 16 does give us a negative 9, and then negative 4 and 7 gives us negative 28. Now we found our pair that works. So we'll set each of these equal to 0. X equals 4 here, and if we subtract 7, divide by 4, we'll get x is equal to negative 7/4. We do a check with the denominator. We always want to check to make sure we're not dividing by 0. 4 is okay. 36 plus 28 is fine. Negative 7/4, you get negative 63/4 plus 28. That's not going to add up to 0. And so both of these then will be our answer.